Hi, my name's Ellie Kindle, and this is a mock job interview. The job for which I am going to be applying is a position as a narrative design and writing intern with Archetype Entertainment, a new video game development company. So, without further ado, let's get into the questions. I'll be the first to admit I haven't worked with branching dialogue software or other programs I might use in this position, but that's something I'm willing to learn. What interests me about this opportunity is that I'd have the chance to craft unique stories using a medium that has only just begun to be utilized in that way. Video games are a distinctive tool for narrative. No other form can simulate the weight of a decision quite like it. And not only is your company dealing in video games, which I could talk about the merits of for hours, but in one of my favorite genres, science fiction. The freedom something like sci-fi gives you to explore remote possibilities and surreal landscapes, physical and otherwise, is immense, and I would be beyond excited to work with you to bring your new world to life. Just because someone understands the mechanics of dialogue and plot progression and how to input those things into a computer to produce product doesn't mean they understand what makes the story work. As an English literature major, I've studied all kinds of stories, short form, long form, poetic. I've read a diverse selection of authors, analyzing their unique voice and how it affects the impact of the narrative. Aside from my scholastic training, I've also been an avid player of video games for years. The Ace Attorney series is my all-time favorite. I know some of your team came from companies that produce games like God of War and Mass Effect, which changed the way games could write a story and what could be commercially successful. In short, I have passion and experience, which can't be taught like a computer application can. When I was studying medieval literature, I was assigned a term paper, which is expected in any upper-level literature course. What wasn't expected was the dearth of resources I would find when I sat down to begin my research. As a person who had only been doing true research projects since about 2017, I was accustomed to having a seemingly bottomless pit of resources online through databases and trusted websites. I had virtually never used a physical volume for my work. When I met with my professor to see if I was doing something wrong in my online search, he came up empty as well, and told me the best route would be to dig through what was available at our small school's library. I went to the library, exited with more books than I could hold comfortably, and sat down to start flipping through entire volumes. In the course of this endeavor, I found so many niche facts and opinions that gave me a whole new perspective on my chosen topic. I actually ended up shifting my focus to allow me more room to talk about what I had found particularly interesting. None of that would have happened if I had stuck to the way I had always done projects like that. I learned that every new task is an opportunity to try something different. The worst that can happen is it doesn't work and you try a different way. I've tried to implement that into my work ever since, mixing up where and how I do things that I would have unthinkingly gone through the motions to do before. One skill of mine is the ability to consider many different ideas and figure out how to best include them. I've had to do this in the many group projects of my academic career and in my time working at multiple summer camps. One time I was part of a planning committee for a special event at the camp I was working at. We were putting together a night of games that would take place during dinner. Everyone had different ideas about what games we should have, what decorations there should be, if there should be prizes or costumes or a funny announcer, and on and on and on. We ended up with about 3 sheets of paper worth of ideas to include, which obviously couldn't be done in the hour or so allotted for the event. I started looking at the list and finding game ideas that could be combined into one, decoration ideas that accomplish similar things aesthetically and could be pared down, and slowly but surely the list began to shrink until it was something more than doable on our budget and schedule. The kids loved the game night and the director decided it would be good to use a lot of the same ideas in the future. With so many talented and creative people in one space, it's inevitable that there be an overabundance of good ideas. What I can do is work with the people who had those ideas and figure out how they all connect, how they could intersect and complement each other for the betterment of the whole experience. I think a great question to ask me is, what should we know about you that's not on your resume? And I would answer, my love of musicals. I first saw a Broadway musical in 8th grade, and I've been hooked ever since. The way people like Stephen Sondheim and Andrew Lloyd Webber use everything from what instruments are used to the very notes that are sung to add depth to the story is mind-blowing to me. And that's what I want to do with Archetype. I want to help create a game that is made better by the little things. The overheard conversations on the street, the music that plays when accepting a quest, the signs in the shop windows. I want my position as a narrative designer to not just be about dialogue and story direction, but about experience, depth of character, and little secrets for those paying close enough attention.